Okay, so the Young Turks posted a video 3 days ago on their channel called "Neil deGrasse Tyson Shuts Down Ben Shapiro," and it really upset me for reasons I will get into because I feel like the video, what they did in the video, highlights something really important about the Young Turks, which I really desperately want their audience to understand, which is why I'm going to make this video. One thing I will say about the Young Turks is I do think they're good at what they do, right? I think that they're effective at what they do. But what they do is not news, right? It's not. They are essentially a drama YouTube channel. That's what they are. That's how they make their money. They evoke an emotional response from their audience that is strong enough to ensure that they get likes and shares, comments, views, right? That's what they do. Uh, they don't care about informing their audience. They don't break stories, right? All they do is give commentary on stories that have been published by other news outlets. They don't supply anything new except commentary, and their commentary is usually passionate, it's emotionally charged, and they do that on purpose because it gets them more views. It's entertaining to watch, and this is evident not only in the stories they uh, they report on, but their choice of hosts, right? Like Anna Kasparian, for instance. She's one of the main hosts of the main show, and she has been for many years. And it's not because she's a great journalist. She's not. The reason she is one of the main hosts of the main show is because she is a very passionate person who gets very emotional easily when she reports on stories. And instead of suppressing whatever emotion that she feels towards a story like a professional journalist would do, she just unleashes it, and she gets pissed off and she screams and she'll call people names. And it's very fun to watch. Not only is it fun to watch, but it also encourages the audience to have a similar emotional reaction, which is what they want. The Young Turks want their audience to be passionate and have emotional reactions to the stories they post because they're more likely to get views, likes, and shares and comments, right? So that's what the Young Turks is. They are a drama channel, not a news channel, right? And what I want to show you here is a video they posted 3 days ago. I think highlights this perfectly, right? They in this video, Neil deGrasse Tyson shuts down Ben Shapiro, which they posted on July 20th, 3 days ago. What they're doing is they're giving commentary on an interview that took place between Ben Shapiro and Neil deGrasse Tyson over at the Daily Wire. And if you haven't seen the interview, by the way, go watch it. It's actually really, really good. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is very uh, he gives great answers to the questions. He's very informative. Ben Shapiro is relatively calm. He asks great questions. I think it's an all-around great interview, and it's over an hour long, but I think it's worth watching. So if you haven't seen it, go to the Daily Wire and watch it. But in this segment, for this YouTube video by the Young Turks, they're giving commentary on this interview, which opens up like this, right?
Ben Shapiro had a conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson about science.
Which is true. They had a conversation about science. What the Young Turks fail to mention is that Ben Shapiro and Neil deGrasse Tyson had a conversation about science back in 2019. This is an old interview. It's almost 2 years old, right? And for the last day or so, I've been trying to figure out, I'm like, why on earth would the Young Turks feel the need to comment on an interview that took place several years ago, right? And I can only think of two reasons why they would do it. Reason number one, maybe the Young Turks don't realize that it's an old interview, right? Maybe they think it's new. Therefore, when they get their audience to infer that it's new in the way they talk about it, they're not lying and manipulating their audience so much as they are just mistaken, right? Which is totally possible, and it would be understandable, right? Everybody makes mistakes, including news outlets, right? And I wouldn't hold that against them if that was the case, right? So that's reason number one why they'd comment on a story that's almost 2 years old. Reason number two, because they don't care about the news, they don't care about informing their audience. All they care about is money, and if they have to pull some shit from years ago and treat it as if it's new in order to try to get as many views as they possibly can, they're willing to do it, despite how scummy it is, because they don't care. They think their audience is stupid, and they just want to make money off of them, and they don't respect them. And those are the only two reasons I can think of why the Young Turks would do this, why they would comment on a story almost 2 years old, right? Now, let's assume you want to give the Young Turks benefit of the doubt and say, well, maybe they just assumed that the story was new, right? Now, you could make that argument. However, that argument falls flat when you scroll down here to the box, the info box here below the video, where they link an article that was probably one of their inspirations for commenting on the interview, which is an article by Slate. And if you click on the article by Slate, it takes you to the article, which you can see was posted in October 2019. Which means the Young Turks knows that it is an old interview, and they don't care. They don't care. They will treat it as if it's new. They will lie to their audience by getting them to infer that it's new, because they are a drama channel, not a news channel, and they only want money, and they think their audience is fucking stupid. Please understand this. If you enjoy the Young Turks, I'm not saying you're stupid. I don't want to I don't want it to seem as though I'm talking down to you, but just answer me this question. Why would you support a news channel that you consider to be a credible source for news that treats you this way, right? I don't get it. I don't get it.